What's up YouTube, it's Dee RC back with another video, and in today's video I'm going to be going over the RC cars I have recently won on auction. This one I won on Nellis auction, and then these four plus one more that I'm going to get to in a second. It's not a car, it's a boat plane. I won on High Bid, which they have a seller on High Bid that's located close-ish to where I live. It was about an hour away. So I picked these up for a pretty good deal. This one I bought 1 week, realized the parts that it needed, returned it, and then the next week I bought it again for $15 less than I paid for it the first time. And that offset one of the 3 parts it needed. So, pretty good deal in the long run. Going over the vehicles in not exactly in order, but we'll start with the one that's broken so I get off the desk. This one is the same as the MJX Hypergo 14th scale truggy brushless thing. It's just dirty and made by Jetwood instead. Comes with 2 bodies, which is pretty cool. And they have lights. I'm not exactly sure. Oh, the lights are on the back, that's why. There. Right here's the light bar. The bodies look pretty cool too, in my opinion, but don't know if I'm going to use them yet. But they also have roof skids, and extra bodies is never a bad thing. The front shock has missing. The front A-arm is broken, and it's missing the tire. But I bought this thing as a parts car in case I ever need the parts off it, and I have a nice brushless system to go along with it. It did come with a controller that's down below. I'm going to get this thing off the bench now. Next vehicle I got is this WPL, definitely copying a Toyota from the 1980s style truck. It's pretty slow, and the parts that were broken on it was the drive shafts, and I found these metal drive shafts on Amazon for $7. So, wins there. Pretty cheap. Don't know what I want to do with this thing, because even though it does have lock diffs, front and rear, it's pretty slow. The articulation is poor at best. So, yeah, this is where the battery goes. It's pretty interesting. But it's a 2-cell lithium-ion 1200 milliamp hour. Nothing to be super excited about. So at this point in time, it's going on the shelf, and no clue what's going to happen to it. It's not like I can harvest the electronics for anything, and I don't have any other WPL vehicles, so it's not like the parts were useful for that either. So yeah, that's that. The next vehicle is this Hypergo, one of their other style of buggies. It's not this buggy style, but similar. The pardon me, differences between this buggy and that buggy are that the shocks are anodized red instead of blue. This one originally came with more like racing dirt tires, so like big, like lugs like this, just smaller. Don't think I have a vehicle with that style of tire anymore. Kind of similar to like a Bandit tire or a Rustler tire, a stock Rustler tire. Those are the best ones I can think of that are a similar analogy. That are just some like dirt or carpet racing tires. Actually, I think they're carpet, not dirt, the ones I'm thinking of. Anyway. And then the battery tray is this screwed down Velcro strap thing, which I honestly like more than the battery tray that this one and the newer MJXs come with, because you can fit a wider variety of batteries in here rather than just the one they come with. It does have the capability for it there. You can see it's got the tie down. The receiver's apparently not stuck to the upper thing anymore, but I can fix that. And the chassis on this is the front, so technically the right hand side doesn't have the actually, none of the chassis has that honeycomb structure that's so familiar on the other MJXs. But as far as the rest of it goes, it's pretty much the same. I take the back. This one doesn't have the big wheelie bar that sticks off like that far, like this one originally came with before I switched it out for a HBX wheelie bar because I like the way it looks better. Same thing with the front bumper. I switched the bumper out on this vehicle because that's going to do more than this will. And this is cast iron, so it doesn't have any bend to it. It's just going to break whenever it receives too much of an impact. So, and then obviously what's broken on this one is the shock. That's pretty obvious. Again, two bodies, and they both still have the plastic on them, so they're in pretty good condition. And this is the shocks for it, right there. Right size, right length, right color, all that good stuff. I'm going to be fixing it after the video is over. All right, so this next vehicle. This is more similar to their 16208, which I did a video on not too long ago. Biggest difference is the body. It's the Mu 4, and I honestly don't know if it's made by MJX or not, but it's basically it's the same chassis as was in the buggy. The difference is the ESC and receiver are combined into one here. They're not separate units. Makes me think it probably wasn't made by MJX, although this is the controller, and as far as I can tell, every other component on here is MJX. So, even the spare parts, because this car doesn't drive. Hope that was important. As you can see, the spur gear, there is 0 teeth left on it, and instead it is all over the rest of the chassis. That one's going to take some cleaning. But I'm a part of the RC Box Club, and month of July, the box was Cow RC various cleaning chemicals. So hopefully that'll make my job easier. And I've already disassembled it down to this far because I was trying to see if the pinion gear was stripped, but turns out the spur gear was stripped. So I had to buy spur gear because I didn't have that lying around. But anyway, here is the spur gear. I have the parts now. So, I'm going to go ahead and remove that one. And all of its pieces. And then moving on to this vehicle, the X12S by Rlaarlo. Always thought this vehicle looked really cool. I just didn't really want to pay almost $200 for it, so I didn't. But then I got it for $60, so, you know, wins. But as I said, I returned it and then bought it back. Didn't realize I was quite buying the same one back, although I had a hunch it was the same one. And it came with the wrong manual. This manual is garbage. It's not the right one at all. Somebody just randomly threw it in there. It does come with the right transmitter. No batteries. Got to supply those myself. And then one Allen wrench and a useless spring. Garbage can. And yes, I've already looked at everything that came in the box, and I thought about returning it, but I decided not to the second time. Something else is in the box. Oh, 2 Allen keys, my bad. Now it's in. But as you can tell, the ESC, loose. On-off switch, loose. Tires, completely bald. This one you can kind of see a little bit of tread on, but bald enough to call it completely bald. The front shock is missing its components. There's the front shocks for it. And the front differential cover is split in two. Front differential cover. and the bottom, front, bottom, and top. So everything that I have needing for this one, I have the tires on order. I got them from Rlaarlo, and they're taking longer to come in because I got these parts off of Amazon. So they came in faster. And I got all 4 tires for 20 bucks because Rlaarlo was running a sale. So wins for me. Because otherwise, and then both of these parts are like 15 a piece. So yeah, 50 bucks in parts for a $60 car. Eesh. Oh well, it didn't come with the battery either, which the stock car does, but because I bought the Omni Terminator, I have the stock battery that this one would come with, and I'm going to run the Omni Terminator on its bigger battery that I bought for it anyway, so kind of cancels out. Other than that, oh right, there's that one other car I was going to show you, and I have a special place for those two that I'll get to after the video's over. The body itself is in actually pretty good condition. No real, like, breakages in the body. So, and like even the underside is just a little bit dirty. And the wing itself, I mean, there's a little bit of like skid marks here on it, but other than that, it's not that bad. The chassis is a bit scraped up in the back and a little bit in the front. So I'm trying to figure out what exactly this car went through to brake like it did. I'm trying to figure out what all the cars went through to brake like they did. I was kind of thinking skate park, and then just a really hard landing like this, or maybe like on the front. But I'm not sure. I mean, that would kind of make sense with the ESC popping loose from the tape, and then blowing out a shock. I mean, I don't know if that's actually blown out or if it's just pulled out. It kind of looks like it's just pulled out because like the gasket's missing or broken. And the little, like, E-clip or whatever, because it's supposed to have a clip on there, is missing. So I'm not sure what's going on. Anyway, I've got the parts here and coming for it. And obviously I can run it with bald tires, but I wanted to get new tires because those aren't going to last for very many more runs. So, bought new tires. And finally, for the last vehicle on the list that I said I was going to go over, but I didn't have room on the table for, it's this thing. This is a Dee RC, I forgot what it was, but it doesn't really matter. Actually, here's the manual. Dee RC Z66, that's what it was. The video is filming in portrait. I've got to turn that in editing. So I tested the plane / boat thing that's got skis, and none of the electronics worked at first. One of the batteries had 0 volts in it. The other one was fully charged. So then I plugged the fully charged one into the plane, and neither of the motors worked, and neither did the servo. And I was like, okay, well, it's lighting up, the board's turning on, so clearly something's wrong. I spun both of the motors, and then one of the motors kicked on, and it was fine. Other motor stayed not working. And I figured out that's because the motor looked like it got a little bit of rust in it, and then seized up the bearings, and I couldn't get them to like unseize. So I could spin it, but the motor didn't have enough torque to turn the propeller and everything. And the servo was completely dead, and it was a 5-wire that was unknowingly wired into the circuit board itself. And I didn't have a spare 5-wire that would fit, and I didn't feel like buying one because this thing new is 50 bucks. So I stripped out all the electronics. There is still a good charger, still a good manual, still a good plane, and good props, and the good battery. It's now at storage charge. I did do that. And I plan on just listing this as is, no electronic, only needing electronics, minus the battery, on eBay. I listed on Facebook Marketplace, but my account was permanently banned because screw you, Facebook. I'm duplicating my account. I deleted my old account and then was trying to remake it, and apparently it got flagged for a duplicate account and me trying to impersonate somebody else, even though the person I was trying to impersonate is myself. I have a bad bone to pick with Facebook. And as far as I can tell, there's no way to get myself unbanned. So I'm screwed. Because my name, my real name, which I'm not disclosing on the channel, no matter if I try and use a different account, always gets flagged for trying to be impersonating somebody else, and that somebody else deleted their Facebook account. I know, because I'm the one who did it. Yes, I'm mad. I'm very salty about this. Anyway, that's what's been going on with the RC auction wins, and I figure while I'm here, I might as well go over the other things I've been working on recently. First car is this. This is the WL Toys 144001, and I just put a Traxxas Titan 12-turn brushless motor in it. A brushed motor in it. Why? Because it has a lot more RPMs than the stock motor. Which should be around here somewhere because I finished doing this today. I swapped the motor last night and made sure that the pinion gear was on with Loctite so it didn't come off. And then I finished buttoning up the rest of it today because I had to go to bed last night after I did that. The other vehicle I'm working on, actually I just finished working on, is the Maverick. This one's actually sitting properly now. I lowered the suspension down. The drive shaft I replaced. The original drive shaft it calls for, I forgot the part number, but I bought the one for the truggy instead of the truck. And the outdrive is slightly different on the truggy. I don't know why, but it was the pin that holds the hex on is a different diameter. So that pin that I was trying to use on this one didn't fit. So what I ended up doing was I just swapped the drive shaft onto the outdrive. The CV, I just swapped the CV from the broken one to the fixed one, basically. And the broken one's actually out in the field somewhere. I never found it. So, problem solved. Going back on the shelf. And last RC car that I've received parts for that I need to fix is this guy, which I was at a skate park with a friend and he was driving it and he snapped the CV outdrive. Just clean it off. Thought I had a drive shaft for it, turns out I didn't. And I got these on Amazon as well. These are technically HBX parts, but HBX, I'm pretty sure, actually makes this vehicle, not Bezgar. Bezgar is just a copy and paste reseller, because they also have a car that's a copy of the MJX H16PL. And a few other vehicles that look like, oh, I've seen that from some other manufacturer. So, part sharing is common in China. So this will work. All I need is that. I should have the rest of the pieces around here somewhere, but if not, it looks like it comes with the extra pin and everything I need to put the tire back on, which is right here. So, that is all of the vehicles I'm currently working on, waiting for parts for. There are still more parts I have coming in from Amazon. The tires for the Rlaarlo is coming from Rlaarlo. This WL Toys vehicle here, which ironically shares the same ESC as my Integy. They're programmed slightly differently, but it's the same piece of hardware. This one broke a hinge pin. I've never seen this happen before, but the hinge pin, which is actually a hinge screw, is snapped clean in two. So there's that. Have the parts coming from WLToysRC.com for that one. And I think that is all the RCs that are currently under repair. I am going to be designing up a new gearbox for, not gearbox, servo mount for this vehicle, gear shift servo mount, to fit a micro servo. That's not the micro servo. That's the broken full-size servo. This is the micro servo. There. More torque than the old one, and these are more common, and so if I design the gear shift for this one, if this one ever breaks, it's a lot easier to find than that other servo. I already put bigger tires on this thing, and you can hear them. They are vented through the tire, not the wheel itself, because these are beadlocks. And these tires are significantly larger than the stock ones. There's the stock one for reference. So this thing also weighs significantly more than it did with the stock tires. with size and beadlocks comes more mass. So I'm super excited to test this thing out and see how it does. But I have to do the gear shift servo thing first, because otherwise it doesn't want to go in gear, it just stays in neutral. So that'll be a fun little project, especially now that yeah, big O tires, and they're nice and soft too. And I've got like a really fancy Endura insert. It's not foam, it's like a rubbery thing that expands, so it's super cool and supposed to be better for crawling. It's the soft, not the super soft compound, which I don't know what the difference is. I got it on auction and it was cheap, so wins for me. Same thing. I got the beadlocks and the inserts at the same time, and then I had these super swampers in there, but I like the way Hyrax the Hyrax tires look better, and those Hyrax tires are slightly larger diameter and they are wider, so it should be better for crawling anyway. That covers everything that is going on the bench. I do have, not technically, I got the drive shafts for the second E-Revo. The body savers are coming. And I can't think of anything else that's currently under, the Team Co Rally. I have the steering parts coming in for that one as well. That should be everything that's not here and here so far that I have parts coming for. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you on the next video.